What I have enjoyed and liked about this car is it's generally the complete opposite end of the spectrum of like when you do have a nice car. So this is the car that you park right at the front of the supermarket car park, as close to the entrance as possible, and then you come out and then you've got like spaces all around you. Whereas like your car that you pride and enjoy, you park furthest away, don't you? And that's what I enjoy about it. It's just like you don't see cars like this on the road anymore. I remember growing up like in the 80s and 90s, and you'd see battered Capris, Granadas, Escorts. Cars were just a lot tattier then, and you don't really see bad cars on the road these days that people look at and go, oh my God, what's that? Like cars back then rusted more, and so they would be pugged up with filler and painted all sorts of different colours. But nowadays cars, although they have this side where they are built to last a certain amount of life, the rust protection on them and stuff, that all holds together more, and it's generally either electronics that have broken that writes a car off. They're still looking reasonable, and so that's what I like about it. The looks that you get from people driving it is hilarious. It provokes a reaction. Having a nice car is, that's a nice car, I really like that car. But this provokes the opposite, in terms of some people look at it and literally their faces just turn upside down. The best one is when you stop at a crossing, traffic lights, and people walk past and they literally like double take, and you see their face as they go, and some people just like do one of those, and some people laugh because they get it. So it belonged to a customer of ours, and she would take it on the track, and it didn't look like this. It was white, but it was presentable white. We would look after the car, and then one day it got crashed, which is why it's got a red bumper on it, and the front cross member was pushed in quite a lot. And I think there was a few other bits wrong with it and stuff, and I think it was then decided that we took ownership of it, and it was going to be scrapped, and I think that's what the plan was with it. We did track days for our staff, and we thought, hang on a minute, we've got an MX5 which is a little bit ropey, a little bit rough around the edges, and that's the ideal candidate for a track car. You want something that you can, you know, race around the track and not care about. This was the sort of car where you could just sort of just have some fun and not worry too much about it. And that's where it became our track car. That damage there, that's got an interesting story behind that. So that actually was done by our employee Ashley at Brands Hatch. Ashley was driving, Gareth was sitting with him, and they're doing some laps, and it was in December, so the track was cold. It wasn't wet, but it was moist. So Ashley was being cautious, and I think Gareth was sort of like, come on, you can go. So we'd gone into Druids, Gareth and Ashley, and they'd come out of Druids, and the car lost control. I think what it was, Ashley got put out of his comfort zone, and it wasn't necessarily 100% his fault, but yeah, he came out of Druids, and Gareth would have been sitting in the passenger seat, and he just had the Armco coming like right towards him. I was watching from the pit lane, and I saw them go up into Druids, and then some cars were going round, and I was like, okay, those cars have come out, I heard this noise. Where's the track car? Where's Ashley? So we've gone running down, and then we see it sort of come down. It was all stoved in, come into the pits. And I was sort of looking at it thinking, that's not too bad. Because we just literally, that was the first session. So we were there for our staff doing, I was thinking, oh no, the car's really toast. The front wing was bent in a lot more. And I think what we did was we just got a jack bar and put it under the wheel, and then just like literally levered it out so we could like run it. The side was stoved in, but everything still worked. Luckily, it didn't really touch the wheels, so we carried on for the rest of the day driving it. Myself and Gareth, when we're on the track, we're very competitive. The other guys, you know, I think they were a bit bummed, but I think it was more me and Gareth sort of, we just got here, it's going back out. I mean, it did nearly get put on the scrap pile, because it was sort of obscuring space in our car park, and I've always had a thing for it. It looks a lot worse than what it is. It's actually roadworthy, it's MOT'd, taxed, and I drive it and take the kids to school in it, which is a great one with the mums look at me of disapproval. I jokingly said it, but the guys in the workshop, I said if anyone ever washes this car, they're sacked. Fired.